From this course, you will master all the fundamentals of Spring Boot. This is Bharat Tippireddy. I am a software architect and best-selling instructor. My Java Web Services course, Spring Framework in Easy Steps course, XML, JUnit, Maven, all those courses are on the top on Udemy. Spring Boot allows us to develop and deploy our applications rapidly. You're going to learn how to do that while exploring various modules of Spring briefly. This course is not for absolute beginners in Spring. You should have some background of Spring to work with this course, and it will get you quickly started with Spring Boot, or you should have completed my Spring Framework in Easy Steps course. We will start this course by learning the problems with the traditional Spring application development approach, where we as developers have to use a lot of XML or Java-based configuration. We will quickly see how Spring Boot resolves those problems and makes our life as a developer super easy to create and deploy our applications. We will then move on to create a Spring Boot from scratch, learn the entire project structure and the various important files that make up that project, and also about the Spring Boot starters. We will then move on to learn how easy it is to connect to a database, use ORM tools like Hibernate to perform CRUD operations against a database table using Spring Boot and Spring Data JPA. The real power of Spring Boot comes when we develop web applications or RESTful web services. We will develop RESTful web services using the Spring Web module and also see how Spring auto configuration works. The internals of how Spring Boot does all the magic. You will then do logging for your application. Another cool feature of Spring Boot is that it gives health checks and metrics of our application when it is running for free. It exposes out various RESTful endpoints which we can use to check the health of our application. We will learn how to do that. We will enable security for our application using Spring Boot. Last but not the least, Spring Boot has another cool feature called profiles, which will allow us to use different configurations across different environments without us manually doing anything in those environments. They are nothing but Spring Boot profiles. So across dev, across testing, across prod, we'll be able to use different configurations on the fly. So enroll now and master Spring Boot fundamentals.